J. Cole is like the dry white wine of rappers.
Yeah.
Wow. Another analogy.
Yeah, he's perfect in himself. But when you have options, you are never going to take the dry white wine. Welcome to episode 34 of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Rodney Malik Casino, aka Mr. Wonderful, aka Mr. Metronome. Na kama kawaida, kabla nisahau, aka your girlfriend's boyfriend.
Nilikuwa nimeshindwa, you've changed your ways.
Mimi ni reform.
Umeacha hiyo moja.
Mimi ni reform. No. I will reform when I die.
And it's your girl, Sookie, aka Sookie Marage, aka Sookie.jpg, aka Uzumaki, aka Jessica Rabbit, back for another week. Thank you so much for coming through. Mmekuja kutuona tena, tumefurahi.
You know, you sound like Nini. You sound like that and one auntie at a show.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming. Tumefurahia sana kuwaona hapa.
See, that's the whole point.
That's the whole aesthetic.
Yeah, anti-aesthetic. Na leo tumeshuhudiwa na guests wetu wawili. We have two lovely guests here with us today. It's a crossover episode, and we're very, very happy to have the 30% podcast in the his house.
Spider-Man across the podverse.
How long have you been setting that up?
No, just right now.
No way.
You are Muti.
For real, bro.
Yeah,
It is.
completely.
Crazy.
Like, this thing inakujanga naturally.
Yeah.
Exactly. Please introduce yourselves.
Yes,
Can I also do the AKAs?
If you want.
I'll
Go
do
ahead.
my tags. So I guess my name is Afam, aka Afam That's Saucy. People will know me from that back in the day. Afam on the beat. Geez, Afam. That's the
Ooh,
one. Yeah.
nice.
Daily affirmations. And yeah,
Ooh.
thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a
Daily
banger.
affirmations.
Thank you. That's a banger.
Wow. Great. I am just Sam. Unfortunately. Or fortunately.
Oh, no alter ego.
No AKAs.
You don't have an alter ego.
Do I have an alter ego? Do I have an alter ego?
None.
That's the question.
My nigga Sam.
That's one song.
That's
That's
like
not
your
tag, though.
that's
Sam
like your
Sheffield.
it's like your producer alter ego.
Maybe.
Kwanza, this man is
Could
a
be.
cohort of my mortal enemy. But we shall discuss that at another time.
Oh,
Yes,
please.
We shall.
So let's get into it. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for
So
having us, man.
It's the first time I think we've had another set of podcasts on the show.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Crazy.
it's our first.
Crazy.
And our first international guests. In first. Sindio?
Yeah, we're international.
You have to
I
relax,
mean,
though.
yeah.
No.
You have to relax.
No, they have green passports. What am I going to say?
Apparently.
Let's move on.
Someone's not legal.
Aye. So let's just get into it. What I've been listening to this week, two projects and a mix. This is, I don't know if it's AMAR, it's like AMAR, but it's the deluxe version by Big X, the plug. Big X, he sounds like the baby if the baby didn't hate people with AIDS.
If the what? Sorry. Let's bring that back. If the baby did what?
Didn't hate people with AIDS.
Wow.
Okay. I thought you said something
Wonderful
different.
start. Yeah.
So also if the baby had asthma, that's what exactly. That's
That's
what
a lot of conditions for the baby.
No, that's what I like. When I was listening to the project, this sounds like the baby, but he sounds like he has asthma. I'm like, if the baby didn't have breath control, that's what he would sound like. But let's not start there. It's a banger of an album, by the way.
Nice.
17 tracks, really, really good tracks. It's he's a rapper from Texas. From Dallas, I think. Yeah. And he's very dope, by the way. He has a song called Left Eye that I've been listening to like on loop for the past like 1 week because it's so dope, Mazi. Let me get into my notes, Kiasi, on the album. So yeah, and this might be some of the best beat selection I've had from a rapper in a very long time. Okay. It's formulaic, but it works. It's like 808s and a soul sample. Na tuendange tukiendanga. Like there's nothing out of the box. It's like knowing your strengths. Like this is what I'm good at and this is what I'm gonna do and it's gonna fucking work. I could not trying. Like I like people who try out the box, but sometimes knowing what works is really good. So that's an amazing project. Came out early this year, and this is the deluxe. This is the deluxe version of the album. There is like a regular version that has 13 tracks, and it's crazy to me how the extra 4 tracks on this album are like the best ones. Like the ones he didn't put on the regular, the best tracks on the album. which is insane. Like ilikuwa inagonga vibaya sana. I would definitely recommend you to listen to it. I've been listening to a lot of, aspirational gangster music this year.
Aspirational.
Yes, aspirational gangster music, Money Man, Key Glock, 42 Doug, T Grizzly,
Nice.
Push Ice-T. Like they make you feel like
Push Ice-T.
being a gangster is good because being a gangster gets you paid. Forget about anything else. Just focus on your money.
On the money.
Like somebody's called Money Man. Clearly his message it's clear. Like
It's
from the
about the
name
money.
alone,
You know
najua
what you're here
this
to
is
do.
Scammer.
a very good artist. Hi.
This is coming.
How are you
No,
doing?
he actually is.
So there was that, and then I revisited one of my favorites, Agents of Fortune by the Blue Oyster Cult. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw I posted it. I posted the LP. Somebody was gracious enough to actually get it for me as a gift.
That's lovely.
Considering I don't have a record player, I have to get a record player at this point because I really do love that album.
Yeah.
There's a song on there, I think everybody knows it. It's called Don't Fear the Reaper. It's a very, very popular, like 70s classic rock thing. But this is peak classic rock. This was like the transition from like rock in the 60s when it was very Beach Boysy, there wasn't much experimentation. And then like before the 80s when it was glam rock and everything, when people were pushing the envelope of what rock music could be.
Yeah.
Like a lot of progressive, a lot of new instruments being added, a lot of new sounds being explored, and it sounds absolutely amazing. So if you're at home, I would recommend those two albums to you guys. Listen to them. They're really, really good. And then one of my favorite artists dropped number 10 in his collection, Mood Provider number 10 by Flamingosis.
Wow.
Just a very nice 1 hour of chill, lo-fi beats and future funk. Love it. Like it's so good. And it's the same thing. It's just built on soul samples and electronic music.
Yeah.
Really dope. That was my week.
All right. So I still haven't gotten to listening to a lot of like new music.
Yeah.
Especially because nimekuwa nikisikiza unreleased. I've been listening to a lot of unreleased tracks from some of my friends. Stuff that I'm also working on, which has
Msanii,
okay.
crowded my head.
Msanii reveal.
It's crowded my head a bit.
Mganga wa wapi? Mganga wa wapi? Sema. I actually put Sookie a lot on the spot, a lot on this show right now. I'm always like, talk about this thing, and you can tell she doesn't want to.
However, I got to listen
NDAs.
to NDAs, love that.
You've never signed an NDA in your life.
No, listen. The thing about unreleased is you never know if it's gonna make it to like the light of day. So you could talk about it and then that person will just be like, no, naika kwa laptop.
So una create
Ama
FOMO.
mwenye naika kwa laptop.
So una create FOMO. Ndio watu wakuulize Sookie ope ngoma.
Aya, hakuna na. So I was listening to some of the recent releases that I hadn't really gotten around to from Kenyan artists that I love. I finally got to listen to Point Nemo by Sisian. Sisian is, wow, I don't even know how to explain the kind of music that she makes, but it's gorgeous. So it's experimental in the sense that like she's touching on R&B, she's touching on jazz pop, and it's very vocally led. So I remember when I went for this release party, it was around last year. The project was called Imonimo. It's a 3-track EP, and it's on Bandcamp for anyone that wants to listen to it. And it's her debut EP, and I felt like it was deeply personal. That's a starting point. And the fact that she starts from the vocals, and you kind of can feel the rest of the beat weaving around the way that she's layered her vocals, it creates a really nice soft bed for some of the lyrics that she's discussing. The things that she's talking about, I think I will read out some of the headlines. So, I mean, look, not headlines. Jina ya wimbo. I really wanted to get that
Track
word
list.
right. Yes, that
Kizungu
was.
Kizungu imekushinda
That
leo.
one. Kizungu imenishinda leo. It's just not the, sorry to our international guests. But yeah, it's three tracks. One is called Drowning, The Distant and Lifeless Spot. The second one is called Healing, The Cemetery for the Deorbited. And the third one is called Growing, The Bloop for Kindred Spirits. So she also describes that Point Nemo is the farthest point in the Pacific Ocean.
From any on land.
Yeah, no man's land, no nothing land, just Point Nemo. And I love projects like this. I love projects that explore like geographical phenomena in the sense of the way that our emotions can make us feel sometimes. Very, like solitary. And for this debut EP, I felt like, especially having gone for the live performance, it was very, I love it so much this year. And if you're watching this,
Where was the live performance?
Yeah, it was at Unseen. It was at Unseen, and it was like a pin drop silence, you know, and like you know the atmosphere at Unseen. So there's a lot of wind coming in and all that, but like everybody was pin drop silent. The vocals are kind of just moving around. I think it's a perfect place for Ableton Live performers. Besides maybe I wouldn't say that too many Ableton Live performances I've watched. I've watched one at The Mist, and then now this one at Unseen. So yeah, I really enjoyed the project.
I think I was there for that.
You should definitely get it out.
I think I was there for that.
You were there for that in August last year. Yeah, it was really good.
It was a good show. It was a good show.
It was very good. So Sisian's also a really dope DJ, just a dope person in general. So do check her debut project out. And then I got to listen to 2 other projects, one by Flyer, Sticky Venus Fly Paper Trap, and another one by Jovi Jove, who released Vibe Central this past week.
I haven't listened to Jovi Jove in a minute. I have to check that out.
And there are a lot of features on there that are like people I haven't heard from in a really long time.
Wait, it's a whole tape.
Yeah, it's a whole tape. Ekumbo's there, Muro's there, Swahili Papi, Albizi.
They all came out from
The
hiding.
whole gang.
Like, those are names I haven't had in like since pre-COVID. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
COVID.
Since pre-COVID. Like, I'm
they've been
thinking.
releasing music though.
But I don't think it's been in my radar that much.
Okay,
But,
okay.
Yeah, but both projects were really good sonically. I just gave them like a flash in the pan listen. So I can't really comment much, but I thoroughly enjoyed Flyer's project. I think I listened to it twice. His flows are pretty good. Yeah, amazing flows and amazing beats. Had you also taken a hiatus? Because like I'd listened to like a couple of singles on like some of his playlists. I mean, some of the playlists on the editorial playlist on Spotify. But beyond that, like I hadn't really listened to like a full project in a while. So yeah, Sticky Venus Fly Paper Trap, very nice.
So.
Na Vibe Central Pia. So yeah, that was all I had to listen to.
Do you guys regularly listen to albums, like full length projects?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I struggle.
Like, I wouldn't.
Really?
Oh,
It's just you.
I guess
It's
it's
just
me.
you right
I
now.
really
Because I wouldn't talk
struggle.
about anything on this show like if I haven't given it like 3 listens maybe.
3.
Yeah.
How do you listen? You listen to an album 3 times?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the first one is to like, Sawa, I've listened to it. Like, this is my first opinions. It's my first feeling. And then the second one is like, okay, let's get into it. What are the themes? How's the production?
Yeah.
All of that. And then like, the third one is like, Sawa,
Just
because
vibes.
it'll be like,
Question on that. Do you find that your opinion changes like after the first listen? Does it always
yes,
change?
sometimes changes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll listen to it one time and you'll miss something on a track.
For
Because
sure.
it's just going. And then when you listen to it the second time, you'll be like, oh, okay. Sawa, okay, now I get it. That's the way. Because I wouldn't just want to come here and say, oh, I listened to this thing and it's good. Like, people take our word as like they value it. So I wouldn't want to give them something
Taste
substandard.
makers.
Oh, nice.
Ndio.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give anybody.
I wouldn't know if
even
it's-
if it's just one
Listen.
person,
So you feel the weight of that on your shoulders.
the weight of
Hafare.
expectation. When I put on an
Hafare.
album,
Do you hear that, Afam?
I'm listening very intently.
Do you hear that?
the weight of
Nice.
expectation. If I put on an
Yeah.
album, that's what it will be called.
Hafare, it's really hard to know in 1 week though how you feel about an
Yeah, I
album.
know, but
kabisa.
If I give it enough time, I can at least get an opinion that I'm confident in.
Do you ever get any ideas from like blogs maybe?
Or not to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh,
not,
for sure.
Not what to listen to, how
Uh-huh.
to feel about the project.
No. A lot of times I will
Do
first
you do
create
that?
my own opinion,
Okay.
and then now I'll go
Something
see.
You'll go and read.
If like I've listened to it for the first time that week, I'll probably like read like a Pitchfork review or something
Okay.
like that. Something that will help me like found like any kind of opinion about it. But thereafter, like I'll just let time do its thing because
Okay.
I also know that it's about my emotional state. I can't entirely peg my emotional state in 1 week to what an artist is releasing and say
Sure.
that I can authoritatively tell you how this project is going to go. But that's me.
I love
We're different,
my opinion
yeah,
might
in
differ
that
from
way.
somebody else's. I'm
Yeah.
just saying what I felt. Because there are times I
Nice.
listen to an album and then I'll go see the review and be like, wow, this is such, we have such differing views on this. Somebody will say an album was cohesive and me, I'll be like, wow, for me it felt like it was all over the place.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't any themes that was sticking. It felt like it was a long-term project. Like it's Ngoma Zaka 10 years ago, written 10 years ago, but you're putting them out now. So it varies, but still, it's my opinion. This is my show and I'll say whatever the fuck I want.
There he goes.
I mean, I
There you
guess
go.
maybe
Yeah.
I can offer like a very different perspective because you three clearly consume music very differently. Because for me, I'm more superficial with it because I listen to stuff that I just vibe with. It's usually not that deep for me. If I like it, even the lyrics, they don't stick for me. Like it's just more about the vibe.
Oh, for sure, that's fine.
So for me, it's like listening to a full-length album 3 times is like, it's difficult. Like I would really struggle.
And I've really cut back on listening.
Or maybe I
feel like last year we talked about way more projects last year compared to this year. I feel like I've just cut back. We are just being more intentional on what I'm listening to.
Exactly.
Because people can get a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
There's just so much music at once. Plus there are singles and mixes and things you're revisiting and playlists. It just becomes a blur of just like, oh, what? You might not even remember that you listened to something.
For me, it's just if I find something I really like, I will obsess over it and like not want to stray away from that, because then I'll just be disappointed. Have you ever found an artist, right? You find a really fire song, then you listen to the rest of their catalog and it's just not. It's not good.
Yes. There's a guy called Playboy Trey.
Playboy Trey.
Has one of
Blast.
Yeah, as in he has one of my favorite
Shout
songs.
out
It's
Playboy
called
Trey.
it's a really old song. It's called Still Standing.
Okay.
And it samples Still Standing by Elton John.
Still standing.
I'm still standing better than I ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like a true survivor. That song. So that's an amazing song. And then the rest of his catalog is, ooh, guy.
It's not giving.
Like, what happened this one time? It's like Kako Bang's Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
Drunk in My Cup.
I have not heard that name in so
Drunk in My Cup is
who knows?
Exactly.
I could make a case for Drunk in My Cup being the greatest hip hop song of all time.
Okay.
And
An argument, but nothing beyond that. Same thing with like Rich Boy. Throw Some D's.
Oh, that's one of my
Perfect
favorite
songs.
beats
That is
of
a
all time.
perfect song. But there's nothing else in that catalog. Okay, his first album had some bangers, but you hit highs that the highest of highs. Alafu go like,
What happened to Roscoe Dash? And Sage the Gemini.
Oh,
Sage
this
the
is-
Gemini.
What happened
Red
to
Nose.
these people?
Oh,
Yeah.
Red Nose is
Oh my
a
God.
banger.
And Gas
I have it
Pedal.
one
But
of
he
my
had like 3
unreleased playlists.
songs.
Gas Pedal.
Gas
Gas
Pedal,
Pedal.
Red Nose.
Those are
Who
the
knows?
2 I
No, he
remember.
broke up with Nani. What's her name? The Noea babe.
He was dating her.
Yeah,
What's
he
her
was
name?
Jordan Sparks.
Jordan
He broke up with
Sparks.
Jordan
What
Sparks and
happened
then
to Jordan
lost all his
Sparks?
musical ability.
Is that the same thing that happened to Jason Derulo?
No,
Isn't Derulo
he's
such a
out
big-
here.
he's
no,
such a
But
big-
Yuko.
Isn't he TikToking?
He's a
and stuff?
TikToker now.
Yeah.
Which goes
He's
into the
Yes,
next thing.
which goes
Into the next thing I want to talk about.
He's rebranded himself, I think.
Yes.
But today,
I want to get your opinion on this. How do you guys feel about the contentification of art? Because now this thing came up to me because you've seen this. You guys are on TikTok, I assume.
Yeah.
You've seen this babe, these 2 babes who just run.
Yeah.
Say,
Oh,
hello, Christ.
Kanekalon,
I'm about to
whatever.
sing
Yeah, I love it.
I do not like that song.
I love
Why?
that song.
It's so annoying.
no,
to me,
like,
it is.
What?
To me,
Bro,
it is.
me
And
and
it's not even the song that's annoying to me. It's the fact that
it's they're running.
it's just like the same video. Okay, now we'll run through a pizza shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
We'll run at Disneyland. We'll run. Checky, you guys are not artists who are doing TikTok. You are just TikTokers who happen to make a song. There's a fundamental difference in between that.
I have very contrasting views.
Please
Because
tell
for
me.
me personally, it's fire. Like, and then in the comments, everyone will be like, "Next, you have to run through like a Walmart or something, or like a
Nobody cares about
McDonald's."
the song.
I care very deeply
about the song. What about them running?
I do about everything.
about them as-
I'm really here
what they're
praying
trying to
for
do.
their success, man.
But here's the thing: if they ran through a fucking supermarket with another
Yeah.
song, would you still watch the video?
100%.
Exactly.
I
The
will
song
be
doesn't
sat
matter then.
There watching.
Yeah, I'm on your side.
The song doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like at this point, you have to understand. Like, if you a point where art is now content, because if you're good at something, you're always being told you should go on TikTok live and paint. If you're a drummer, like that's how you get paid. You become an
Yeah.
influencer. You get an influencer bag. You're an art. Are you an artist or are you
I
an
think it's-
influencer? Are you a content creator? I've had this discussion with you privately. I think about artists who I feel like their music career is gonna take a downturn because once you get that influencer money, once you start getting influencer bags, and we all know like money in the music industry is it's held on very tightly by very few people.
Yeah.
So once you start getting paid off things that aren't music, you actually lose the drive to make music because you're getting paid. Like your house is imejaa, fridge imejaa, in Ruto's economy fridge imejaa. You have money to spend. Unatumianga mamako pesa ushago. You have money in your pocket,
Sure.
and you're looking at it this way. Am I gonna go make music and hope that the promoter's gonna pay me or my song is gonna get on rotation, or will I keep dancing in my house and then get nitumie nini kia package ya Coca-Cola or whoever,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get paid doing that? I think that's the biggest driving factor on this. once you realize that content pays more than music, you just make your art into content. But does that mean that your art loses value?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, I feel like everything is a balance. Like how else are you gonna get the masses to? Well, if that's your intention, I guess. I mean, you could make the dopest music, but nobody's really listening. Then some people might argue. Then I mean, for me, like just getting out the art is what I needed, but ultimately you also have to earn a living, so
Exactly.
like, you have to market it some way, and right now it's TikTok, it's Reels, it's YouTube Shorts,
It's everything but
so
the music.
you do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's I even asked you this. At what point does it stop being art and start becoming content? Because those two are very different things. Like when you even the way we consume both.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I'd argue that like there's a certain level of, even the way that those girls came up with that song, it's still music. Like I feel like the fact that it's being showcased on TikTok doesn't make it any less musical. I feel like the point of making a banger is also supposed to be to connect with people, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find a way to use this medium to create an entirely new, different kind of pop. So like
Running through supermarket pop.
No,
I
listen,
love it.
Matata have done it. Kila mtu amefanya running through a supermarket at some point.
Yeah.
Like
Have
kila
you run
kitu
through a
ni-
supermarket? Should we
Girl,
run through a
maybe I
supermarket?
want to. I don't-
Should we? Should we run through a supermarket?
I need to
1
make
year
a song for
anniversary.
that.
Listen.
See us running through Carrefour.
Hafare, the day that you write Hafare's interlude, that is the day that you'll understand. Music is just about the fact that you're able to create something from your
Yeah.
heart. Whatever sounds really good over this beat, it can be termed as music. And like that's a terrible place for like artists that have worked on their craft for a really long time to be in, because now it also just seems like it's not really about like talent or like cultured talent in the old school way that we've known it to be, like people knowing a lot about theory, people knowing a lot about I guess how to play an instrument to seme, but like it doesn't mean that it's boxing all of those people out. It's
Yeah.
just a new way of like creating, a new way of connecting with the audiences that are going to receive this music at some point. So yeah, I can't knock them. It's the same way that we've talked about how the music video grew. We've had an entire episode about that. Like people hated. I mean, the artists didn't like the music video at first when MTV was trying to push it to them, but you know, it's become one of the most potent forms of like potent art forms in terms of music that we've had over the years. TikTok is starting to do the same thing. Of course, we're going to push back against it, but we're going to fika a point where we're going to be like, yeah, you remember that time those girls did that thing? They were the OGs.
Yeah.
Who would you want to see? You guys, who would you want to see running through a supermarket? any
stuck on the one thing.
Any artist.
Rodwave.
Rodwave. Damn. I want to say something, but watch out.
I don't know. It's their thing, and I love them for it. So like, who thought of it? And then the way they transition. What may I wonder is how do they time it? Like,
Exactly,
how do they know?
exactly.
Like, I'm gonna finish my lines, and then that's what I really wonder.
Who's running with them?
That's a very important question, by the
Those are
way.
the questions
Yeah.
you need to be asked.
Like the cameraman, umsha stamina.
Because what they're doing is crazy. Like even when I watched it, I was like, there's so many questions, bro. Like,
Yeah.
okay, the rhyme scheme. Okay, you can call it elementary, you can call it whatever, but like they're doing something we don't understand yet, and that's amazing.
The one thing
Yeah.
I'll give that song though, it's given me a lot of like pretty girl transitions on TikTok, and I do like that.
Okay, explain.
Like glow up, like
As long as the
you do like
baddies
the
are
transition,
there.
and then now you look like a baddie. You look regular, you've just woken up, and then like I'm about to sin again, and then the transition hits, and then you look like
Oh,
a
you mean
baddie, and I'm like,
that's the content you're watching?
yeah, of course,
Oh, okay.
of course I am.
So,
I'm a degenerate. What the fuck?
I know that was me when Angela like was blowing up
Exactly.
on TikTok. That was me as
Are you
well.
telling me that when Nini came out, like the
Yeah.
Basset challenge?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like
for
you know,
sure.
I don't
we
like
were
the
there.
song, but check, I appreciate what you've done for us. I do appreciate, like your song inadvertently led to me enjoying myself, so I'll give you props for that.
Yeah.
So I'll give you
Exactly.
props for that.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing that I'm probably angry at in that same vein is the way that like I've found that more artists that have given us more potent stuff before have also just turned into making songs that would fit well on TikTok.
It's the label.
Which sucks. Okay, you can say it's a label, but like, you know, maybe there should be more? I don't know if you guys would have any insight on this. Is there something that can be done to avoid that completely?
To avoid
labels being labels?
No, it's a direction. They're chasing the money, and the money is in the content. So
a label is a business.
I said that last week.
that's what's going to happen.
I said that on the show. The label does not give a fuck if you're good.
No, it
the
doesn't.
label don't give a fuck if you can make the money.
Yeah.
No, Nilijua I said it's shameless. They told Adele to make, and we talked about this. They told Adele to make a TikTok song.
Yeah.
Adele, highest selling first week numbers of all time. That Adele, 3.2 million records sold week
The
one.
audacity.
That Adele. I'm gonna be, hey, we think
can
for
make
your
a
next
TikTok.
album, could you just like do a TikTok song, or like just like something we could do on TikTok?
Something TikTokable.
This is Adele.
I can't even think about that. No.
Imagine
Leave her
seeing
alone.
Adele doing TikTok dances. Fanya tu hivi.
I find it so interesting.
Ndio. Like there are people who live that too. Kuna watu
No
tunachia.
idea, no.
Like there are guys we understand. You have to
Yeah.
do this. The numbers ain't matching. There are guys you understand. But Adele,
That's true.
if Sade puts out a TikTok song, I will kill myself. I will end my life.
Wait, I just to get some ground going here also as well. I really wanted you guys to talk about the foundation of the name of your podcast.
Okay.
And where the social experiment, especially because you guys celebrated 30 episodes.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Last
you.
week.
Thank you. Thank you.
30%
Thank you.
podcast.
And
Significant.
yeah, so
Maybe.
give us the basis of the podcast and maybe what your findings have been so far, if at all you've been collating them, or what is it about the Kenya music industry that you've learned through your podcast also?
I mean, I guess
And the conversations
when
you
we
have.
had the first conversation about starting the podcast, we went through a bunch of names, and it actually came about because of Sam. So maybe Sam is best placed to explain, like, how it came about, because he's the one who came up with ultimately the 30%.
The discussion.
I know, but the idea came from you.
Okay. So putting me on the spot.
So why
Great.
30%?
Well, we're just thinking of different ideas, I guess. Coming up with names for things is like, it's the worst.
Difficult.
It's just the
Yeah.
worst. It's terrible.
Difficult.
I mean, I'm surprised that I understand why some kids have bad names. Ni ngumu, by the way. It's really hard to name something on the spot. What's her
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Petronilla. Shit. Are you sure? Do you want to take some time to think
Oh
about
my
this?
goodness. Yeah, let's just move.
My God.
Let's just move ahead,
Oh my
please.
god.
So yeah, we're coming up with a bunch of names. So, I guess what happened was, when you look at the basis of the podcast is to sort of talk about the problems that we see in the industry, right? And so one of the biggest issues that we've had in previous years in the Kenyan industry is the amount of, we see like the hashtag play KE music everywhere. The amount of music being played on the Kenyan radio is almost pitiful compared to the Nigerian market and the American market. So I guess when we had that, so doing some research, we saw that 30% of music. I don't know whether it's current, honestly.
It was
I feel
30
like-
to 40%.
Yeah.
At the
But
time.
which was
But 30 to 40% is not very catchy. It just needs
It's not.
30%.
Yeah.
30%?
Yeah, so we just went,
Yeah.
30%ish. Maybe we could go on that. So I guess that was the idea. We just thought that was good. Hopefully the idea is for that to become obsolete.
Exactly.
For the name of the podcast
Yeah.
to become
The
obsolete.
hope is for our podcast name to become obsolete, obviously,
I'm gonna
because
change it.
Yeah.
The
we might.
100% podcast.
Yeah.
They're
Over time.
100%
Over
podcast.
time.
Honestly, though, it's crazy, man. Like when you see that statistic, like 30 to 40% of music played on radio is Kenyan. Like, come on. And it's not like we're trying to force people to play
We
Kenyan
almost
music.
play more bongo music than Kenyan music.
And Nigerian music,
Crazy.
but like it's just like, man, support the artist. And it's just like, if you're not playing because we're producers, and if you're not playing the artist's music, we're not getting paid as well. Like it's
I
just
get
it's such
you,
a
yeah.
huge trickle down effect, and it's just like, man,
I have a question. You guys get like royalties from like MCSK and Praise
or
Campus?
never. Me personally, I've never seen a check from them.
Yeah,
So-
because I saw there's somebody like I hope they released that audit, because was it Camp that was recently like California forensic audit, and then somebody was like, now we know where exactly our money is going, like the royalty money, where it's being wasted on. So I really hope they do release that full audit, because I would love to go through it.
They need to release that one.
Yeah, I would just love to see how much waste is there and how much money they actually get. Because when artists are getting 2,500 on M-Pesa, this is your royalty, and I know how much Skizatun makes, how much bars pay, like everybody who licenses live music, how much they pay to these organizations, and you're an artist. If Calligraph is getting 2,500,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, how much is everybody else getting?
How much are the producers getting?
If they're getting anything.
If they're getting anything,
Nothing. Nothing. And then the thing is, like, you'll fill up the split sheets and everything, but
That's
it's like they don't really mean
it's just for
anything.
formalities.
Yeah, they don't mean anything because even the collection of that, it means nothing. It's just a sheet of paper. So that's why a lot of like producers, engineers would prefer to be paid up front, which if you ask anyone in the music industry is absolutely not great. Well, if you're an engineer, yes, but if you're a producer, you want to get like percentage points in, you know, with the writing. But you know, here like you're not gonna get that. So you'd much rather be paid, even if you know you're being shat on. So yeah, it's horrible, but it is what it is.
It's terrible for artists here. We don't have a framework for this. And the thing is, we try to emulate the Western market, but they are operating off years and years of foundation. And we've not put those in place. It's weird. So we don't even know what we're trying to copy, honestly. Or when we try and copy something, it's not going to work here.
I'm not sure if you guys would be able to answer this, but is it different in Nigeria?
No,
Sam.
it's the same.
Is the absolute
Why
same?
did you quickly? You're just the most Nigerian. How are you shaking so quickly? What's going on?
He loves his Kenyan half.
Yeah, my Kenyan half.
Yeah.
No, I love both halves. But Sam, you were telling us about the Nigerian industry.
It's not. It's actually weird because there is an image now that we see of, you know, there's artists doing crazy numbers. Looks like the industry is thriving. But if you go to Nigeria, it's the same thing that's happening here. There's just a few people who have caught a wave and a lick, and they're exploiting that to the fullest. But it's almost like here we don't have the same. We don't have.
So we're all grass is greening, basically.
Yeah. And then you're looking at those guys to dictate what the industry looks like.
Yeah.
And so if we're looking at successful people, we think the industry is being successful, and then you become complacent in terms of fixing the problems that the industry needs. And it's the same everywhere, man. There are no structures. It's not really backed by the law like that. The IP, what do you call it? The IP laws, they're probably outdated, probably pre-internet age. It's crazy. It's the same thing that's happening here, honestly.
But it's the
Africa
wild.
is a country. Hashtag.
It's the Wild West over here, which in some sense is kind of exciting because that leaves room for a lot of innovation.
Definitely.
That's true.
But at the same time, you also have to make some money. So, yeah.
There's something you want to talk about.
Yeah. I listened to the episode with you guys and Alfayo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shout out to Alfayo.
I be sharing y'all's shit, you know,
Man. No, but we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I actually really love the podcast.
Thank you so much.
The episode with Alfayo was great for a couple of reasons. One is I finally found out what it is about, like Riara Makini kids that really pushes them into music very well early into their childhoods. That is something I have really wanted to find out. Nobody from Makini or Riara really talks about it as much.
Okay.
You guys are Makini kids, right?
I am.
You're a Makini kid.
I was homeschooled.
Oh,
You were
okay.
homeschooled.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That explains the set
Let's
books.
no need to go further. Let's just leave that where it is.
Listen, how many people
Break
think
and
about
move.
Nigeria?
I know what you are going to say.
But wait, beyond that, because I feel like that's an entirely different story. You got into talking about publicity for artists and how that's been conducted over time. My thing was, you guys got into beef engineering, which this is something I've always wanted to talk about. Like, do we need more beefs in the Kenyan music industry?
100%.
And how do beefs, why?
No, we don't
Why
need
did you-
beef.
Controversy sells.
It does.
Controversy
Controversy
sells.
sells.
Recently,
Unfortunately.
we were reading the whole Calligraph versus Willie Paul. Yeah, thing, and it was interesting. Me personally, I don't pay attention to their music, but I was really paying attention there. You know what I mean? Okay, like beefs can go over the edge, so we don't want that. But they really do bring a lot of attention into the music for sure, because you're especially if it's just well curated and there's like you can see the first diss track dropped and then the response and then this. It's like a story. It's like wrestling. Yeah, it's a storyline. It's theatrical. I like it.
What if they really hate each other though?
That even adds more spice, so it feels even more real. But
it's more drama.
It's more drama. Are you niggas like supporting somebody ending up dead at some point?
No, that's what I'm saying. We don't want it to be. We want it to end with the music, but that's idealistic. But still, I don't know.
I remember, was it years ago? These two dudes, what's their names? Abbas and Chihuahua. Remember when they had beef?
Oh yeah.
And then it culminated in a show, like an actual battle in Carnival that people paid tickets to go and watch.
That's brilliant.
Like they both got paid.
Yeah.
And then people showed up. And then you realize in the end, it's like, these niggas don't hate each other. Like they blew up this storyline for months. It had even
it's good for business.
Abbas's ex-wife, what's her name? Baby something. Like the white babe, I've forgotten her name. But she was also entangled in that to make it even better. Like that shit would have popped off during Edgar Obare's era. Like right now.
Yeah.
If like you just start beef for no reason and then you throw in a love triangle. When we say your Telegram chat itakuwa jina yako every single fucking hadi chini. And then you throw a ticket in there. Come watch me versus this person for 500 bob. In fact, you do it in a fucking boxing ring. Theatrics to the fucking max. Sawa. That shit would sell.
I feel like the controversy we have right now isn't kicking because like it's not.
If I was famous enough, I would do it with Sam's friend.
No, listen. You don't need to be famous enough for that, boo. Like
Maybe
you can just pull up to the studio.
You can use that to get you famous.
No.
Listen. You're the one who you get me. You get what I've been thinking. Because you need to interview that guy. I feel like I just want to see you guys talk.
No, let's not.
I don't want to watch the world burn.
I will leave my own interview.
You'll drop your mic.
That's crazy.
So you mean you can talk all that, but like if it comes to studio, you can't tell him to his face.
I will. But at some point, nitakuwa like, fuck this. I am debasing myself. I will leave the room.
Wow.
It would be chaotic,
crazy.
but like in a good way.
In a good way.
Like, yeah.
Do you
like
think podcasts should have beefs?
podcast beef.
What kind of podcast beef would you even have?
Pod wars happen all the time.
Like I don't know. Like we're having one right now, I guess.
I mean,
yeah, we review music better than you guys.
Your opinions are trash.
Your opinions are trash.
Terrible opinions.
Yeah.
We have all the cool listeners.
You guys forgot to mention how nicely arranged the hi-hats on that one song was. So
Yeah.
personally, I think we reviewed it better.
I think you're trash because of this one reason. And I'm going to base my entire feelings towards you because of this one reason. And your podcast sucks.
Exactly.
And your homie has no swag.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's just build on these layers of beef.
A poor podcast.
And like it's
my
like when we
God.
did Byron, when we did the live show, the mics are open.
Yeah.
There was a whole segment where Calvin and Jimani had like dad jokes against each other. Yeah, who would make the other one? Who had the better dad jokes? And that was dope. That was part of like I love shit like that. Not only are you getting a good conversation, there's also this extra thing that's going to happen. So yeah, podos should be a thing. Proper ones. So I'll burn down
Proper
studios.
podos.
I'll petrol bomb your studio. So I know it's real.
That's why we don't have a studio, so you guys can never catch us.
Wait, you guys know where we pod? Like,
We have the upper hand now.
They have our location already.
Actually, I've just been
Tactically, they have the upper hand.
scouting
The upper hand.
this whole
we
time.
invite you to our podcast on the day of our daughter's
Daughter's
wedding.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I understand the whole thing about controversy selling because it keeps you in the news cycle even if you don't have any music out.
Yeah.
There's always something. I don't know the last time I had a Bahati song. Does he even make music anymore?
I think he does.
Ama kazi yako
even
ni
the
kubebwa na
tabloid.
bibi yake
Didn't he
kila
recently
mahali.
go back to making gospel music?
He went back to making gospel
I thought I
music.
saw that somewhere. That he got back.
Yeah,
to
that's the
making
thing. I
gospel
wouldn't know,
music.
but I do know the things he's doing.
Yeah.
You
I do know
about
that
his TV show?
Bahati gets wife billboard on his Due Happy. I am, as much as I try to avoid it, this man's news will always come into my cycle. Because the moment you go into
Facts.
music news in Kenya, and it's just not him, there's so many artists who just exist. Like you're an artist, yes, but first of all, we're to so unatafuta clout.
But like in the same sense, like is it time for us to know less about each other? Maybe?
is.
Because
It is.
the
It
thing
really
about
is.
it,
It really is.
The thing about it is, I remember back when I was still on Twitter, RIP. Nani.
Wait, are you not on Twitter anymore?
No, my Twitter, ilienda kwa Mungu. It just, yeah, like Elon Musk.
The South African man is practicing apartheid on Twitter.
Yeah. but like I think it was sometime in January that Blinky was talking about how like Blinky posted something about like not knowing much about Sade. Like we don't really know much about Sade's like personal life besides the music and like maybe the like snippets of it in the past, but like right now there's really not much of that. Like it's you hear something from Sade, literally it's just the music, you're just ready to hear her voice, you're good with that. So yeah, is it time for us to know less about each other for real? Like
I want to know less about celebrities so that I can feel that they're celebrities.
I know. Nowadays we know too much about them.
We know too much about celebrities. Like,
way too much.
Celeb nika boys wangu sasa. Like, I know every facet of your life.
Oh, you think you do?
Eh? Okay, maybe I think I do. But
It's all
I still know too
curated,
much.
yeah.
Like, niggas in the 80s
yeah.
were stars. Like, in the 80s, people, you are a star walking the street, people would collapse.
But do you think that was
You
also...
think Michael Jackson stepping out of a car, watu wanapiga nduru?
But it was also because of access. Like, we have so much
that's
more.
the
We
thing.
have social media,
Like,
we have all that
stop
type of
posting.
stuff.
Post once a year. Be mysterious.
No, you will... No, okay, unfortunately, like, if you try and curate yourself that way, you try and be mysterious, you try and take long hiatuses in between releases, people will simply just forget
there's
you.
too much going on
They'll
outside.
just forget that you
Entirely
exist.
too much.
Okay, yeah, I do get
There's
your
too
point.
many...
attention spans.
Yeah, there's too many artists making music. There's too many producers. There's just so much going on. And unfortunately, you have to keep up. I think J. Cole said it best. Like, sometimes in the industry, you have to give before you can really take what you... Because even when he started, he was very different, you know. He was really just a rapper, you know. It was with the way he dressed and everything. But once he got, like, his footing... That's when he went into himself, and you know, now he has the dreads, and you don't see him as much. So essentially, you have to kind of like give, and then
You get
because if you just start off trying to be mysterious, it could work, but there's a high likelihood it won't.
I have a counterpoint. J. Cole has never said anything best.
His name was Therapist.
Exactly.
And depending on how you read it,
therapist.
it's very problematic. That was a great decision to change that name.
Yeah, fantastic. And probably his best.
You guys don't like
decision he ever
wait,
made in his
am I
career.
hearing J. Cole hate?
No,
Is this J. Cole hate?
Oh no, it's not J. Cole hate. J. Cole
that's
is like
a yes.
You
J. Cole
can't
is-
hate on J.
J. Cole
Cole.
is
It's
basically
kind of
he makes
like
that-
a,
No.
it's a
He makes
self-fulfilling
Monday.
prophecy.
He makes.
And
Do you not you can't hate on J. Cole. Do you hate on J. Cole?
No, I don't hate J. Cole, but I don't like love J. Cole. Like,
don't
you know,
like
I'm
his
on the
music.
fence about J. Cole.
J. Cole is the
Like,
white bread of music. Like if it's only you,
Wow.
okay, sour.
Not
Okay.
even Eminem.
He's like, no, like yeah, it.
like you
When
can
you're
you
cold,
can eat it when it's
Yeah,
there. You
it's
can make
there,
a
you-
sandwich
But
with
if
it,
you had like a
maybe,
shelf,
but,
you would never choose the. Like if
Yeah.
you wake up in the
You
morning
wanna
and you
go
have to
for
choose a
the
rapper to listen
whole
to,
meal.
you're not gonna listen to J. Cole.
I
J. Cole
will-
is
whole
a,
meal.
J. Cole
I
is
will
a,
go back to
he's a
J.
9 to 5 type of
Cole.
rapper. Like you listen to him in the office.
Wow.
Those, you know,
There's some projects I
those
would go
equal
back
to
to
hyped.
though. But you have to
Yeah.
get Kando. I can't.
He's basically J. Cole is like the dry white wine of rappers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Another analogy.
Yeah, he's perfect in himself. But when you have options, you are never gonna take the dry white wine.
Dry
Sawa.
white wine is kind of nice though.
You're
When
old.
it's hot.
Moving on swiftly.
No. We're talking about J. Cole still. Yeah, because
Sure.
there are times, and just like white bread, sometimes you pair it with something else, and it's really good. J. Cole on features, he's really good. J. Cole on his album,
Really?
maybe.
Damn, I wish I
That's
had more
harsh,
points.
But you went platinum with no features.
With no features.
So did
man.
Kevin Gates. Why don't we talk about him? And Kevin Gates fucks his cousin. Like,
Kevin Gates is a weird
Maybe
guy,
that's why we
man.
don't talk
Like,
about J. Cole, because he doesn't do
and he
that.
believes he can start his car with his hands. Like, he's a weird guy. I
He's
don't
a very
know
weird
why.
guy. But that weird guy also went platinum with no features. So going platinum with no features isn't
not
like
a
this
standard.
measure that you'll say like he's so good. Because if Kevin Gates can do it, I bet you J. Cole could.
Do you hate on J. Cole? Okay, not hate, but do you dislike J. Cole because he feels like he's self-righteous and all that?
What
I don't know.
exactly?
No, he
Where does
definitely
your
got
hate
to
stem
that
from?
point. That's the thing for me. Like,
okay.
he was very endearing at first. He had a lot of like really good things to say. If at all we're following the lyrical point of like of
Sure.
everything, but at some point he was just. I don't know. I felt like I severed ties with him after that whole drama with No Name. I understood that maybe this guy isn't for me.
Okay.
When he said he doesn't read.
No,
Are you surprised that nigga doesn't read?
Why are you dropping all this knowledge if you don't read? That's what I was like.
Is it really knowledge then?
Sure.
You see-
If you don't read,
It puts a lot of things into perspective because no name is out here reading, telling people what to read, starting a book
Exactly.
club, you know,
But I feel for
trying
me,
to organize.
for me and J. Cole, like his music misses like two things that I really love about rap music.
which is
That light misogyny.
This guy.
You equal.
and that was just number one. What's number two?
Like light misogyny, sawa, and multiple drug references. I
No,
love that shit.
he's been misogynistic a bit.
But
He has been,
it's so
yeah.
covert. It's like I have to dig through to find a little nugget of misogyny. Am I a gold
You
miner?
don't have to. I'm a woman. I know you don't have to.
Exactly.
It's there. It's just bogus. Like I just feel unaffected by it. It's a guy called therapist. You can say what you want to say about women.
Me,
We're probably
I want to wake up in the
listening
morning.
to
I
him.
want to put on some key Glock, and the first thing I want to hear is "fuck my ex." To get like, I'm rich now. Fuck my ex. Let's go. I was having cocaine.
You
when
don't
I was
have to
starting
dig through it to find.
Niambie mapema. Like I hate women.
very
I don't have to pretend. I'm not a nice guy. J. Cole is the neckbeard of rappers. My God. Yeah, like and
Wow.
this is not an attack on
Okay.
the quality of his music, and I feel like he's a way better producer actually. He comes from that class of guys like him and Kina Big Crit who used to do almost all the production by themselves on every project. So I feel like if J. Cole was to make me a beat, poof, what did he make for Kendrick? On I think Section 80. Was it High Power?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was High
I'm not
Power.
sure.
Yes, and High
Yeah.
Power is an amazing beat. So I feel like J. Cole the producer, I fuck with J. Cole the producer. J. Cole the rapper, sometimes like kuna siku zingine unataka tu kusikia Can't Get Enough, sindio? But white bread, that's it.
poor Jermaine.
That man is rich. He doesn't give a fuck about me.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Wait, have you guys watched The Idol?
I watched episode 1 and quit.
You quit. You didn't
Yeah.
I
even
haven't
like
seen it,
push
no.
through a hate
The
watch.
end was so cringy. It's just very cringy. I saw a tweet about how someone said they can't listen to The Weeknd's music anymore because it's just cringe. It's such a cringy show. But I don't know. Like, I watched episode 1.
I don't want to watch it then because if it ruins Don FM for me, I will never
Yeah.
forgive
Dawn
myself.
FM, yeah, no, that's a really
Dawn
nice
FM is
project. I
a
don't think
very nice
anything
project.
can mess that
And
up.
it has
for
Jim
me.
Carrey on it as the radio presenter, which is crazy. Plus the Tomoko Aran sample on Out of Time. Like, it ticks all my boxes of what a good pop album should be. Plus, that
Yeah.
man is clearly sad when he was making it. Even better. Let's go. Happy music is not for me.
No,
I think-
I have something about this. Like, sometimes, and I've said this before, like where you want an artist to be going through like shit to
Breakups and
create
everything.
really good art. Me personally, I feel like it's a bit slightly. I don't want to be a wet blanket, but like, man, you know, like it's true. Like some of the best music comes from that place, but I think some of these artists would trade being in a better place than just making good music. Because I don't know. I don't want to be a.
The labels don't care. though.
The labels don't
At
fucking
all.
care.
It's the balance.
Yeah.
Do you want to be happy? Don't make bangers.
Yeah.
Like, it's the balance, kabisa.
Do you want to be
No,
happy or
Future was
make
left
bangers?
by Ciara in 2014, and 2015 he has the greatest run of his career.
Yeah.
When he did like 56 Nights and Monster and
And yeah, babes haven't been
Purple
affecting
Rain.
him like that in a while.
Exactly.
Damn.
He hasn't been putting out the bangers
It
because he's
hasn't-
happy.
It doesn't bode well for me.
That
You
man,
guys are crazy.
our toxic king needs a even more toxic queen.
He needs.
So he even needs even
Feed
more
the
toxicity.
Did you see Travis Scott smiling at Sexy Red?
I
That's how
saw-
you know it's gonna be some good music
Exactly.
soon.
It will end Vibaya.
How do you guys feel
Till
about
editing.
Sexy Red?
As a fashion icon, dollar bills on your titties. She's doing it.
She is.
She's doing a lot of
Sorry,
things.
I had to do
What?
that. No, I had to do the ski ad lib. No, men love Sexy Red. Sam hates her, but me personally,
Terrible.
me
Terrible,
all these
terrible
girls,
music.
Why?
Sexy Red,
When do you have
Gloria.
against Sexy Red?
Yeah.
Terrible music.
City Girls
We
music.
need to stop doing
City
that.
Girls music is
Product of
amazing.
TikTok.
It's amazing.
It's a
Bro.
product of TikTok.
No, but
It's
City
terrible.
Girls
But
music
it's
is amazing.
amazing.
Like, listen to Ken the Man in the morning. You will feel like a bad bitch the entire day.
That's not what
In
I'm
fact,
trying-
a
that's what I'm
particular
going
song,
for.
if you want to feel good your entire day, listen to a
Bro.
song called Not My Nigga by Ken the Man. That Kali in the morning.
I wake up saying, "Rip me out the plastic." That's me
Exactly.
now. The Big Lato song, bro. I
Oh,
love
jeez.
it.
In and out, Big Lat on City Girls. Nani, Young Miami's verse. No, not Young Miami's, JT's verse on Ingo Miami Bagio said some. Her verse. Trust me. You wake up in the morning and you listen to City Girl music. It's like unakunywa a shot of like energy drink straight
To your blood.
Yeah,
Do
Evo.
you think the men are slacking? Because in R&B, women are on top right now. Like I feel like not that there's not good male R&B, but just women are on top. But I feel like even in rap now, like women are like really over. Because I'm so interested in listening to Ice Spices and everything. As opposed, what do you think?
I don't think they're on top. I just feel like the resurgence is very prominent.
It is.
Because there was a time we didn't have any like actual female rappers except Nicki Minaj doing anything. And then Cardi B for a bit, but Cardi B's decided to not be a musician for like
She's
the
a
past 5
family
years.
woman now.
Yeah.
She's a brand.
So, like seeing the resurgence of like when City Girls came out and wakatoa hizo mangoma zao, and then you see everybody else following up: Glorilla, Mona Leo, Big Lato, Ken the Man, Young Erica, Asian Doll, all those guys coming up and putting out like actual bangers. Like one of the best hip hop songs this year was Area Codes by Kali. Other hoes might be your nigga in different area. Like that is uplifting music. That is music that makes you feel good, and I love the fact that it's very empowered. Like it's an Ilya story. What's that book? What's that movie called by Tyler Perry? Think Like a Man. Yeah, these rappers, like these babes, are actually thinking like men. They've taken everything that men have done to become successful in rap and started doing it themselves, and they've become successful too. I would never blame anyone for understanding the hustle and taking advantage of it. Plus, they are bangers.
Yeah.
Bangers.
I have an actual playlist called City Girls Forever.
You do?
Yeah, and the artwork is a babe like looking at a man who's been tied up on the floor. I'll send you the Byron. I'll send you the artwork. Okay. I'll send you the artwork for that. Please include it up IV. I might even add the link to the bio because everybody deserves to feel like a bad bitch.
For sure.
You're having a bad day, be a bad bitch, sindio? Byron anatuambia tumalize, imagine. Of course.
Byron says wind up, but like I wanted to.
I don't think
I
he
feel
meant
like-
for you to
No.
to point that out.
See, that's how we do our
how we
whole
do it.
podcast.
We're breaking the fourth
Like,
wall.
It's a naked podcast.
There's no
We might
wall at
as well
this
have a
point.
camera looking at
There's no
you.
wall.
There's no wall.
Just shout it next time.
No,
honestly.
listen.
Every single episode,
There's
we have to
no
mention
etiquette.
Byron's name.
Yeah, Byron
we're in the
is
middle
a
of being like, hey,
character in the
Byron.
podcast.
He's a character now.
Like, so I just I feel like because we have another podcast on here, it goes just the way that an interview would, which is, do you have any questions for us
Yeah.
as we wind up, or like something you'd like to say,
Or are we coming for?
Yeah, are we
Part
coming
two?
to you?
No.
Not to invite kwa.
For sure.
Yeah.
You guys are always invited. Question: What is a Malikasi? What's that? Malikasi. Rodney Malikasi.
Oh,
What's that?
Rodney Malik Casino. That's my alter ego.
Oh, that's your
Rodney Malik Casino. So
Oh,
Rodney, all of them
I
have
see. I've always just been
all of them have
wondering.
stories.
Okay.
I was given the name Rodney by a hooker. Malik came
You were
from a
given
friend.
the name
whoa,
Rodney
whoa,
by a
whoa, whoa, whoa,
hooker.
whoa.
I thought
Yes.
we were
A
trying to
hooker
know
where?
less about each other. We're trying to know less about each
Yeah, I was
other.
given the name Rodney by a hooker.
I mean, okay.
I will not explain anymore. So
Please don't.
Sawa, go ahead.
it's not what you think, but maybe it is. Anyway, I was given the name Rodney by a hooker. Malik comes from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We were making jokes about going to the Hajj.
Okay.
And then akasema utarudi ukiitwa Malik like with a kufi and kanzu na kofia.
right.
So ndio, and then casino is just because it sounds cool.
Because it sounds
With a K,
cool.
yeah, it sounds cool because you have to finish the story. Like casino is the very end.
Okay.
There are many women in Nairobi who know me as Rodney. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, baby.
That's great. That's great.
Sam has been shocked this entire
That's-
podcast. Sam is
That's
like,
a different kind of guy.
Sam is just on this show like, what did I get
I'm
myself
Yeah,
into?
dude.
learning. I'm learning.
You're learning.
Yeah, I'm
Sam,
learning.
when you get cancelled in 20 years, blame me, okay?
It's your fault.
It's
When?
my fault.
Yeah,
It's not an if,
I'm not
it's a
trying to
when.
get cancelled though, so we could cancel you now and avoid any future cancellations.
Nobody's ever been successfully cancelled except R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein. So your success rate is very low. You could try though.
No, okay, actually, I have a serious question. What would you say to the young and upcoming podcasters out there? It's serious. I'm serious.
Talk your shit.
Talking shit.
Talk your
Okay.
shit. Literally just
Yeah.
be the most honest you can be about everything that you're interacting with.
Sure.
I feel like that's the beauty of podcasts. That's something I've learned a lot from Hafare. The more you talk your shit, the easier it is for people to connect with you. If you go with something too curated, it feels just like all the other media
So
stuff.
why are you
that
looking
you
at
do.
me?
You
Don't
look
look at
straight
me.
at him when you're saying
You
that.
feel like
Look at me.
ChatGPT, yeah.
Exactly.
Like it's like ChatGPT wrote this
Anybody
podcast.
could tell me this. Like I could fucking Google the question that like, the question that you want to answer on the podcast. But like if it's raw, if it's authentic, if it comes from the heart, That's what people
Do
want to
you
hear.
think how, oh man, I know we were supposed to wind up, but do you think how, like you see in music, you were saying like the whole TikTok stuff, like does it detract from the art? Like in podcasts, is the equivalent to that controversy, or saying something that's like just gonna grab someone's? Does it take away from the art of podcasting?
No, you see, you're the one who did the whole clickbaity Nini titles thing.
Yeah.
You told me, okay, not clickbaity titles, but like it's a title that will attract people based on like
because
something controversial.
people come in for the conversations,
episode.
yeah. But what keeps people is in the conversation. It's you. It's how you
your
portray it.
personality.
Yeah, personality,
Yeah.
your character.
Everything, yeah.
Sure.
Because anybody could sit in this chair. There are a million music podcasts. They could be saying the same things I'm saying. But why would you want to come back and watch me? It's because you enjoy the fact how I say it. Benjamin Asema, the character I am. So,
Exactly.
You work in music. Do you think it's important to protect your industry connections? Your
code
industry?
switching. I'm somebody else off the clock.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh,
And-
for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
code switching.
Oh, man, I'm
Like,
terrified.
if you see me, a friend of mine tweeted like, you see this guy being crazy on Twitter, and then you find him in the 9 a.m. meeting at work, and you can't believe it's him. Yeah, it's code switching.
Different
Like,
guy.
when I'm off work, I'm off work. Like, I don't have to be professional.
It doesn't cross over if you talk
No.
trash about someone and then
Someone will be waiting
Checking.
outside.
I have said very tame things. I've said worse things off the air in the office about artists than I have ever said on here.
see.
Okay.
So I don't think anybody at work would watch this and be like, maybe isn't if it wanasemanga. Hata if I ever recorded that office tungeuliwa.
Maybe that's content.
So to wind up, okay, finally, like the last wind up. Tell us more about Superdrum.
About Superdrum. Well, okay. Well, I work at Superdrum. It's a production collective / studio. Well, the studio is technically called The Promised Land. We work with artists, mostly emerging artists. Our whole thing is artist development. You know, we want to see younger artists, like less known artists, thrive. And so we have this program called the Artist Recording Program. And this is essentially just us trying to collaborate with artists and making music is so expensive. Recording and then marketing, distribution is really expensive. So we just try and put ourselves in that pipeline. So Superdrum production collective. If you need beats or a place to record, for sure.
Yeah, hit them up.
Yeah, hit
Yeah.
us up.
Definitely
Hit
hit
us
them
up.
up.
Wait, and Sam, plug yourself.
What am I plugging?
Your production.
Whatever.
Do you throw him out in the morning? Do you have nothing else to do? Like, do you throw him out in the morning, like, and then after this will be put back in the fridge? Like, some you have a life outside this.
Yeah. No, I mean, I make music, so just hit me up on socials if you need anything. Anything at all. Most things. No, music.
Yeah.
If you need music. That's
Listen,
it.
Sam sounds modest, but if you hear his 808s and his music,
Oh,
like
here we
it's
go.
very, very different. It's a very, very contrasting. Like, wait, you made this hard stuff. Like Sam is.
Sam,
really
what's the
good.
song you produced?
We don't know.
No,
None
the
of
one
us
for
know.
Nyashinsky.
Yeah, none of us know. I don't know it myself.
It hasn't come out yet?
Not yet, honestly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to not listening to it.
Okay.
But I will. For you, I'll make the exception. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, guys, for coming through. We have to
thank you
come.
for having us.
Yeah,
there will
there'll be a crossover
it's
for sure.
a crossover
for sure.
event, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
It's a two-parter.
it's a two-parter
For
for
sure.
sure. This is the first
Oh,
one.
plug the Afam is so much better.
Two-parter.
Plug our podcast. It's so much better
Please,
at marketing
yeah.
than I am.
Yo, you can listen to us 30% podcast and the 30% pod on everything. We're now on Threads because we're hip with the kids.
We sold our souls
We're
like
also on
everyone else.
LinkedIn because we're also professionals. So yeah, we're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So you can listen to us there. And yeah, thank you guys for having us.
For
Thank
sure.
you guys for
Alright,
coming
thank
through.
you so
We really
much.
appreciate you guys being here with us for episode 34. I hope I haven't messed that up.
34, yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
And if you're going to take away one thing from this episode, remember, it's completely advisable to feel like a bad bitch in the morning. So, yeah. See you guys on episode 35.
Bye.
Damn, that was cool.